do is I was given this bio, and I was supposed to pick out some things about this bio to introduce our very own Zion Church Basement Ladies. But it was so clever, I'm going to read it to you. They wrote it. Zion's Church Basement Ladies are made up of 3 wild and crazy women from Zion Lutheran Church in Chisago City. They have had many successful plays. They have included Fly, the Friendly Skies of Lutheran Airlines, Gunnar and Christina's Wedding, and Lutheran Nunsets. Becky Haven, Joni Hoagie, and Liz Aldred used their friendship and the gift of gab, talent of acting, and off-the-wall personalities to share the Word of God and their love of the Lord using humor and laughter. Liz Aldred and her husband of 25 years, Tom, live in rural Chisago Township. They have 3 children. Bridget's a graduate of the College of St. Scholastica and works at Disney World. I guess we know where she got a little of that. Allison is a certified medical assistant and is in nursing school, and Kyle works with his dad, running their auto body repair shop. Liz has worked in healthcare for 25 years, and she does an amazing job as the founder of a special needs summer camp for children. In her spare time, Liz enjoys organizing her Schmidt beer can collection, admiring her Lee press-on nails, and feeding her pet squirrel. Joni Hoagie lives in Chisago City with her husband of 32 years, Kevin. They have 2 sons, John and Kyle, who are both University of Minnesota graduates and are working in fiber optics. Joni was a teacher for 22 years and decided to resign and join her husband in running their family's manufacturing business. Joni's hobbies include making dish towels out of duct tape and naming paint colors. If that's not enough, Joni also sews Disney costumes for animals incarcerated at the Humane Society. See why I couldn't? These are just too cute. Becky Haven, bio, when we asked for a bio, she said, bio? I took that in high school. All those cells dividing and dividing. Can't we all just get along? Aside from playing Rose, Becky has lived in Chisago City for the past 12 years. At her side is husband of 33 years. These are long-time marriages. John and 2 sons, Cameron and Ben. Cameron, UND graduate commercial pilot. So that's how flying the Lutheran skies or whatever. He probably could have helped her on that skid. And her other son, Ben, is working in production for a home shopping network. Becky teaches language arts at Forsyth High School, and she enjoys playing with frogs and dabbling in chemistry in the kitchen. All 3 of these women are tremendously talented, huge givers of themselves and their families to our communities. Again, this is why we are part of the church. It's because of the people like our very own Zion Church Basement Ladies.
Oh yeah, I might just have to some guy.
We're a few fries short of a Happy Meal. Oh, good Lord. Okay, all right, Rose is here.
Well, girls, we've been working really hard and getting ready for the celebration, but I think we should take a break. Like, say 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes. Should we set the timer?
What? It's hotter than Hades in here. Oh, Amanda. Okay. Well, see. Oh, where are the Kipper snacks? This is it. That's it. 1 can of Kipper snacks to feed all of you. Who was in charge of the Kipper snacks?
Well, you said get several Kipper snacks. There are lots of them in that can. So I got several Kipper snacks.
No, never mind, Rose. We're just going to have to take care of that later. Right now, we have to get ready for this celebration, this anniversary. We have got to be on our game.
140 years, my goodness. Okay. Menu review. Oh, okay. Deviled ham on buns. Oh, I love Rob's fresh buns.
Rich, get your mind on the task and out of the gutter.
I met Rob at Dee's Bakery. What were you thinking?
And don't forget the ambrosia salad. Oh, I love Cool Whip.
Oh, we're going to go all out. We are going all out for this. We're putting the Tang in the back cupboard. We're pulling out the Sunny D.
Sunny D. What do you suppose the D stands for? D is for dog? D for dandy?
No.
D for...
How about D for don't hurt yourself, Rose? Okay, see, ladies, speaking of hurting yourself, I went to my very first aerobics class last week. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I did a lot of bending and stooping and gyrating and lunging. And by the time I got my leotard on, the class was over.
Well, now I know why all those names in your little black book end in the letters MD.
You know, ladies, in summation, the physiology of aging process, everything that works hurts. And anything that doesn't hurt doesn't work. Now, why are we here? Oh, anniversary. Now, whose anniversary is it? I wrote down some possibilities on a recipe card. Might be.
Her light bulb's one of those energy savers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, short of a bushel.
Now, is it any of these people? They were all married here at Zion. Swanson, Swinson, Anderson.
And you know all those Johnson girls were married here.
Oh, I remember that.
Speaking of memories, look what I found. I was getting the good linens out, and I found this book. It's the history of Zion.
Wow.
I want to read it right now.
Does it have any pictures that fold out?
Rose.
Pop-ups.
Oh.
That's good, but you know what? We do not, I'm sorry, Blanche, we do not have time to go through this book right now. And we are critically low on Kipper snacks. So you need to sit down, or not sit down, you need to get all this organized. No, Rose and I will run up to Briggs Market and get some more Kipper snacks.
Yeah, run along, Toodles.
We'll go get Kipper snacks.
Yes, let's get some.
What are Kipper snacks?
Let me give you a hint. What sound does a Kipper's telephone make?
I don't know.
Herrings! Herring!
10 cans. 10 cans. They're gone. Okay, they're gone. That's it. Having a seat. Ooh. Wow. Alrighty then. Okay, let's delve into the old history book, shall we? Okay then. Wow. Look at all the weddings held at Zion over the years. So many couples were married just in the last 30 years here at Zion. My pastor, Mike Peterson, he was our pastor from 2004 to 2013, don't you know? Oh, Pastor Ron Bettner. He served from 1994 to 2003. Wonderful man. And then there was Pastor Glenn Haney. He was Zion's third longest serving pastor from 1981 to 1995. Yeah. Oh, look at the couples married here at Zion. Well, the 90s, that included Jonathan and Carrie Lefgren Dodge, don't you know? And John and Ladima Hawkinson. And they were also married in 1990. Mark and Len Peterson, they were married in 1994. Oh, and Keith and Angie Sheffers, 1992. Well, then there was the 80s. Love the 80s. That was the wedding of both Johnson girls. Yeah, Sue and Tom Swanson, John and Sandy Nicholson. They were both married in 1985, just months apart. Poor Barb. Oh, ladies. Then there was Lee and Nancy Grimm in 1987. And then there was that wonderful couple, Tom and Liz Aldred in 1988. I tell you, that Tom sure is a hottie with that new beard of his. Oh, there's notes here from 1974. That was the 100th anniversary here at Zion, don't you know? Man, I remember those days. It looks like we had just finished the education building a few months before that. That was before we had the walkway in between the sanctuary and the education building. Brr. It was really cold back then. And I told Harv, I said, Harv, I refuse to walk across there. It is so cold, I'm gonna fall and break a hip. Yeah, and guess what happened? A couple years later, they built a walkway. And whose idea was that? That's right. Hey, anywho, apparently, a short time after that, aluminum siding was put on the church. And maybe some of you were there for that, but there was quite an uproar about putting aluminum siding on a church. Okay, well, the 100th anniversary in 1974. My kids were young. Rose and Ragnar, they had just gotten married. And Dorothy, she just kept pushing out those babies, if you know what I mean. We were in our 30s. It took Rose and Ragnar a long time to have children. Figures.
Won't you take me to Funky Town? Won't you take me to Funky Town? Won't you take me to Funky Town?
Oh, I loved going to that disco last night. You know, that Russ Peterson, he sure can boogie on down. You know what he gives me? Night fever, night fever. You know how to do it. And I just love doing the hustle. Do the hustle.
Oh, Dorothy. Now we have to hustle and get ingredients for cheese fondue for our church people. Oh, and have you tried that psychedelic Jello 456?
Rose. It's Jello 1, 2, 3. It's in these layers, and it is delicious to the max.
And it looks so funky in a cup.
Oh, yes, especially healthy when you put shaved carrots on top.
And a dollop of mayonnaise.
Speaking of mayo, have you seen that new recipe? It's called Aloha Spread. Oh yeah, you take this new stuff called deviled ham, you mix it with crushed pineapples, pickle relish, and mayonnaise.
Ooh, I can dig it, and that would be groovy with cheese fondue.
You know, Kipper snacks dipped in cheese fondue. When I was pregnant, I just could not get enough of that.
Now, was that with this last pregnancy, or the one before, or the one before? You've had so many. You know, you're in either Catholic or careless. No offense.
Well, I'm not Catholic. All right, so we need to get back on that. We need to go get those kipper snacks. You need to head over to Screen Market and get some more of those kipper snacks.
What are kipper snacks?
Well, let me give you a hint. What did the deaf kipper have to get?
I don't know.
Hearing aids.
So many fond memories. So many fond memories. I'm gonna read a little more of the book before the ladies get back. Oh, and there was the 80th anniversary. That was in 1954. That was the same year little Monica Johnson Tostison was baptized right here at Zion. And then in 1958, Jack Sandgren and Barb Bloomquist Johnson graduated from Chisago City High School, don't you know? Shortly thereafter, Carol McGuire scooped up Jack, if you know what I mean. And Jack was quite a looker. Pastor Clarence Peterson, he was Zion's pastor from 1954 to 1960. And in 61, for just 1 year, was Pastor Russell Knudsen. And he was replaced by Pastor Kermit Youngdale. He was pastor here for 3 years, from 62 to 65. You know, we're quite honored here at Zion. We have 9 sons and daughters of Zion who have went on to become pastors. Yep. 8 young men who were sons of Zion, and of course our very own Heidi Mix Wallace is the only female to be the daughter of our church to become a pastor. We're quite honored for that. I am getting parched. Just need a little. Who made that? Either they missed the eggshells or it's horrible. Okay, anywho, the weddings held at Zion during this time were many. In 1963, along with Jack and Carol Sandgren getting married, were Kurt and Dorothy Peterson. And then in 1960, both Stuart and Barb Johnson were married, as well as Larry and Shirley Lofgren. Oh, in 1956, Richard and Carol Peterson were married here at Zion. I wonder if Richard realizes just how lucky he was to marry Carol all those years ago. Well, okay then, moving on to the 50s.
Oh, hang on, Roy. I have to fix my holes. They got all stretched out. Oh, I just love going up to Kichisaga Days for the sock hop up by the Glear building there. Oh, I love those big bands.
Oh yeah, jitterbug.
Speaking of jitterbug, that Larry Lofgren can really cut a rug.
Yeah, he's dreamy.
Rose, put a bobby sock in it. I heard that last night Larry pinned Shirley.
You're steady.
Well, yeah, pinning someone means you're going steady, unlike your brain waves.
On your nose with a rubber duck.
Rose, if you're gonna insult people, why don't you stick with you're cruising for a bruising? And what are you wearing?
It's my strudel skirt.
Rose, it's supposed to be poodle skirt, not strudel skirt.
Why would anyone put a poodle on their skirt?
Well, because
corn feed. What else can we give them? Now, I know there's no rationing, but the budget is tight and
I think we should have TV dinners for everybody. Those are Easyville Daddy-O.
we don't have TV at church. Egads, how are we going to do TV dinners?
You know what, never mind. We'll just stick with the traditional liverwurst and deviled eggs.
Now, will that stick to their ribs enough?
No, I think we're gonna have some kipper snacks. Oh, we're low on kipper snacks. Let me guess, you did the shopping. We need to go back to County Market and get some kipper snacks.
Kipper snacks. What are kipper snacks?
Well, funny you should ask. Let me give you a hint. What do you call a herring that murders people?
Oh, I don't know. Scary?
Jack the Kipper.
So many fond memories, don't you know? Well, it says here Zion's 70th anniversary was held in 1944. That was the first anniversary service that was in all English. Oh, and some people miss that Swedish speaking, don't you know? The celebration was very limited that year due to the war and rationing being in place. That was right after those cute boys, Paul Johnson and Russell Dahlquist, were confirmed right here at Zion in the confirmation class of 1941. Then in 1945, the war was over, and Pastor Baker, he resigned, and Pastor Carlson began. Ooh, 1947, the playground equipment was placed on the chapel grounds. Cathedral chimes were purchased, and religious instruction began once a week. Well, it says Pastor Carlson resigned. Why would you do that? But he resigned, and he took a job at Gustavus and was replaced by Pastor Elmer Sahlgren. To prepare for the 75th anniversary here at Zion, over 200 members volunteered their donated labor to prepare for the huge celebration. These days, it's hard to get 10 people to volunteer to bring a hot dish in for a dang funeral. Anywho, the new colored art windows were put in the church in 1939. The women's circles had begun, and the church bulletin started being printed in 1934, don't you know? The church officially changed its name in 1933. It was the Swedish Evangelical Lutheran Church of Chisago City. And of course, they changed the name to Zion Lutheran Church. Evangelical Lutheran Church, forgot that part. The new slate roof was put on the church in 1932, and during that period of time, the baptisms here at Zion were many. Barb Johnson was baptized in 1940. Kurt Peterson and Carol Peterson in 1939. Richard Peterson in 1936. And then there was Lowell Peterson and Larry Lofgren, and they were both baptized in 1934. My Lanta, that's a lot of Petersons. Yeah. World War I was over, just in time for Zion's 50th anniversary. That was a huge celebration in 1924. Pastor Slatt was our pastor back then. He faithfully served Zion for more than 25 years. He retired, walked down the street, and he retired to the Bethesda Old People's Home, which is now the Parmley Ecumen campus.
Oh, that women's circle sure is fun. And those Charleston lessons were a blast.
Take one of these.
Why do I need a knitting needle?
Oh, pretend it's a cigarette holder. Flapper pose. I love doing the Charleston. I hope they have us do that when we go out to the dance at the dollhouse out on the island? Oh, and that peachy keen Russell Madsen, I hope he asks me to dance.
And I hope that Ted Noreen asks me. Their looker's all right, top drawer.
And how? So dapper. You know, though, at that circle, what was that they served? Something called tuna a la king?
I don't think a king would eat that.
Well, not unless they had a short snort of something.
Don't say that. You know, no one can have alcohol these days. Oh, they'll think you're one of those girls. Like one of those Lindstrom girls.
Who knows what shenanigans they're up to. But now we have to get serious about this anniversary celebration and what we're going to be cooking. I think we should use this new thing.
So fantastic. Crisco oil.
It's supposed to be fabulous for frying chicken.
Oh, and Jello molds.
Can you believe it?
Fancy. And let's put some of that fruit cocktail in the Jello mold. Oh, that would be so pretty. Now we're gonna have to color coordinate everything. The tables and the food. Now what color Jello? Red Jello, orange, green, and the chicken will be brown. What goes with brown?
Rose, the colors won't matter, because those Bloom brothers are going to be so impressed with the food we have.
Or the Lundquist lads.
Yeah. Oh, they are so good. But we're low on kipper snacks. We're going to have to run to Bloom's Mercantile and get some more kipper snacks.
What are kipper snacks?
Funny you should ask. Let me give you a hint. Why are kippers so smart?
I don't know.
Because they swim in schools.
I can't stand it. I need to read more of this book. Those ladies are going to be back from breaks, and I'm just going to go on a little further. I need to find out more of this history. It's amazing. Wow. 1920, Zion purchased the old schoolhouse in Chisago City, and they used that building for many years for choir practice and religious education and scouts. It was eventually sold in 1968 and became City Hall in 1973. The church parsonage, that was built in 1914 for a cost of $5,700. One of the saddest days in Zion's history was in 1940. And that's, one of the saddest days in Zion's 140-year history happened in 1908. And that's when the original church building burned to the ground and was completely destroyed. While it was being rebuilt, church was held in the organist's home. Can't imagine how everyone would fit in his home, but okay. The rebuild cost of the church was $14,000. I know people that have had some work done for $14,000. The pulpit was built by Mr. Palmer at a cost of $125. And the baptismal font, the money to build that was just $31, and that was donated by the Ladies' Aid Group. Zion's congregation was formed in 1874, and the first church building was completed in 1877. This is some good information. The first pastor, don't you know? Well, his salary was $500 a year. But he also got a home to live in, which is pretty cool. The organist was paid by each family by bringing in a bushel of grain. And if they didn't have grain, they would bring in a chicken or some cheese. And I wonder if Joyce Seedsma likes kipper snacks. If not, I think I have some big cheese in my purse. Anywho, it's written here that Pastor Lundquist, who served for 22 years as our pastor here at Zion, Some of his sermons were more than 4 hours long. Some Sundays kind of feel like that, you know what I mean? Anywho, the First Ladies' Aid Society at Zion was founded in 1889. They met in the sacristy. Most of them walked here. Some of them took a horse and buggy, and it says here that many of them rode across Green Lake in a rowboat. They would dock their boat over at the Bethesda Old People's Home and walk the rest of the way here to Zion, sometimes with their children in tow in full petticoats. But it was the only means of recreation for them. You know, sometimes I get tired just walking up the steps to the sanctuary. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
we're back now. Here we are. What'd you get done here? Are you
A
done?
lot. Stuff.
Well, it looks like nothing got done.
Speak for yourself. I did some stuff. You guys, look, it's the book. It pulled me in like a Harlequin romance. I could not put this down. Don't you want to know some of the things in this book? Okay then, well, I'll tell you what. Did you know way back when the church was segregated? Yes, men sat on one side, women sat on the other, and it went on for many years. Until one year, a very brave newlywed woman said, "No, I'm sitting with my husband." And ever since then, families have sat together. Yeah, good for her. I'm probably related. Anywho, then there was dues. Everyone had to pay annual dues, and it was a different amount for men and women. Men paid $1.50 a year, and women paid $1. Yeah, there's so much good information in this book.
You know, and I seem to remember that back then, everything you donated was published and made public. Ooh. Well, guess I'm not going to complain about filling out those commitment cards anymore. At least those are confidential.
I noticed yours was a little less this year.
Well, not as low as pledges.
Well, let's not worry about the money. That's not what's important. It's our relationships with each other, right? And our relationship with Jesus.
Do you ever wonder if those ladies way back then, 140 years ago, do you ever wonder if they were as proud to be members of Zion as we are today?
Oh, I bet they were.
I have an idea. Let's have a toast.
And I think in honor of the 140th anniversary, we should toast in Swedish, like the original Swedes at Zion did. Okay?
Yeah, it's the AFW.
School!
School!
Did that mean cheers?
Yes, Rose, that means cheers.
Okay then, 140 years from now, do you ever wonder if three ladies will be in that kitchen and they'll find something like the book and they'll wonder about us and they'll wonder about our memories and the things we did here at Zion?
Oh, I'm sure, and they'll be impressed by all the food offerings that we have.
Oh, yes, and the way we share the love of Christ with each other.
Oh, yes, and the way we're a church community, we pray for each other, we're always there for each other.
Well, that goes without saying.
Oh, but she did say it.
Never mind, Rose.
This entire day has had so much meaning for me.
Oh, Blanche, the good news is sharing the love of Christ will just keep going on and on into future history.
Oh, speaking of history, that's what this break is, girls. History. We need to get going. Let's go. Rose, slave driver. Don't forget those kipper snacks.
What are kippers?
No, never mind.